Hi, I'm Marcus and welcome back to another series of jPlay. As discussed on my Facebook page, I think I will be doing something about Stronghold. As I'm totally unexperienced in this game, I've never played it ever before, I will do again something different this time, and this time really I will be doing a learning playthrough. So I will just simulate a two-player session of Stronghold. So I will play both the invader and I think it's the defender, and try to learn this game this way. I already had to learn that the original rules that come with the game are not the best one out there, but I'm glad that I got this one from eBay, and the guy who had it before me already put the I think FAQs and invaders rulebook, so really more or less a cleaned up version of it, and really it makes more sense when reading this repaired version of the rules of Stronghold. Still, I think it's a great game and I'm really looking forward to learn this game and maybe learn it together with you. Especially in this series, I would really encourage you to let me know if I've done something terribly wrong, or also even small mistakes, please let me know. And I'm also, let's say, grateful if you would send me some help in respect to strategy and tactics in this game. So let's get started. I will prepare the setup and then I will learn Stronghold.
This is the starting setup for the defender defending the Stronghold. Basically, what you're doing in Stronghold, it's playing really ideally one-on-one, at least I have been set so. So one guy is defending the Stronghold, and these are his more or less units he has during this game, so there is not much, there are not much possibilities to regain units throughout the game. And on the other side, there's the invader, who has, let's say, quite a few of these units available to storm the Stronghold. And this is really the only thing that I don't really like about this game. So all your units are represented by these little wooden cubes here. Good thing is at least they are wooden and not any cardboard or stuff like that. So the chits, so I don't like these either. So I think it's not that bad. So basically I think this is a goblin, this is an orc, and this would, let's say, resemble a troll, the red one here. And he also is the thing that really surprises me is that when I take the human veteran from the humans, so from the defenders, he's a bit larger than the actual troll. Okay, but I think this is really only to represent and give everyone making aware, hey, these are my troops and these are yours. And as you can imagine, the aggressor or the invader wants to invade the Stronghold here. He can either do that by breaking through the walls here, or try to break all three gates here with his battering ram. As soon as the invader at any point of this Stronghold gets through or gets inside the Stronghold, the game ends, and then it's not automatically that the invader wins. It really then is dependent on the amount of glory points that each player has collected until then. The game board consists of several sections or areas in the game. For once, there's the overall Stronghold that the defender tries to keep. There are wall sections where, for a starting condition, there are already some soldiers from the defender. You see there are some wall parts, so each wall section consists right now of 2 wall parts. They can be stacked, so the defender can make the wall stronger. Then there are the gates, where I explained that already, where the invader tries to get over or get through in order to win this game. Then there are the foregrounds here, so from the camp the invader sends his troops to the first foregrounds here, and then he tries to advance his troops further to the ramparts over here, and then from the ramparts following the paths here, they can get to the actual wall section. There are different ramparts in play, but there are only, I think I would say, 3 foregrounds available. One being here in the western part of the map, one in the east, and then there's the Barbican rampart, where you more or less construct your battering ram for trying to break through the wall. Note, it might be possible that the invader does not have the battering ram available. This is something I explain to you in a second. So there are some strategy cards available and you have to draw them at random. So it could be that the invader does not have the battering ram available. As you can see, I already prepared the starting positions for the soldiers of the defender, and that's quite easy. So there are these fields where you can keep your soldiers normally, and this white circle here tells you, hey, this is the starting position for your archer, for example. Additionally, the defender gets the defender's hit deck here. I think we give them a brief shuffle for later usage. Then the defender gets 4 hourglasses before the game, and I think he gets also 2 more when before each turn basically. So the defender will start the game with 6 hourglasses in total, but he cannot use them before the invader has taken his first action. We prepare the glory board, and this is a bit tricky. So on the left side there is the invader's side, and he's using the dark side of these glory tiles, and on the right side there's the defender's book. And as you can see, the invader already starts with 10 of these glory tiles, dark glory tiles on his side, so he already has 10 victory points, you could say, whereas the defender also starts with 4 of these glory tiles, glory tokens, but of course on the light side of this, so he starts the game with 4 glory points already. But he could use these special actions in a later phase of the game, I think as of turn number 5. So I will just put a die here to reflect, okay, which turn we are. So I will flip that around, and as soon as this reaches the 5th floor, then he would be allowed to use these special actions. So, but I think I come to that later. An additional thing I want to track is the Guard of Honor, and this is reflected here by these 2 veterans over there. I think they are the veterans, or no, let me check. Not the veterans, I think soldiers, sorry. The green ones are the soldiers, the white one are the marksmen or the archers basically, and the red tiles would be the veterans, but right now we don't have any veterans in play. So, but getting back to the Guard of Honor here, so if we are managed to keep these Guards of Honor guys here until whatever round 6, so with the start of round 6, then and this is also something, that's why I have this die prepared here. So if we ever reach round number 6 and these guys are still doing their duty there in the Guard of Honor, then the defender would gain victory points by each of the consecutive rounds. So when he is ending the 6th round and these guys are still positioned here, then he gains an additional glory point. The invader also has a hit deck here, but I think I will explain it later when we do the first machines or military machines put in play. There is also some markers reflecting which machines are available later on in the foregrounds and the ramparts. He also gets 5 resources, and this is also a bit tricky because these resources also are being used to represent a wooden wall section, but I explain that to you also in a second when we come to that. Now we prepare the invader's face cards. So Stronghold is played over 10 rounds, so I think I mentioned that when the 10th round is over and the invader has not managed to break into the stronghold, then the defender automatically wins. And each round is played in 6 phases, I believe. It should be 6 phases, maybe it's 7, I don't know. But we have 6 face cards available here. So, and preparing this stack is not really difficult, but still there's some random mechanics to that. So for once, the first phase is always the same. So this is the card for the first phase. So there's no selection here. So in phase 1, the invader gains 5 wooden cubes, and he's allowed to draw 14 troops from the back. From the phase 2, there are 5 cards available. We give them a shuffle, and we will choose we will just draw 2 cards from phase 2 and choose one. So we have to draw now, or we have to choose now one of these 2 cards, and this will more or less give us the strategy for the game. So in phase 2 we will be allowed to build machines. And so for once, this is the battering ram, this is a ballista, I would think, and this is an altar or something like that. These are walls, also the battering ram and a catapult. And as I don't have a clue, I think I would just take this one here, so we would be allowed to build these machines. This will be discarded. Then we do the same for phase 3, also consisting of 5 cards. We will draw 2, just at random. These are now our equipment cards we would have available. Again, we have to choose one of them. Again, I don't have any clue, so I will always also get this one here. So I think these are, we can do pass over traps. This can be nice. These are shields, so which will protect us when we are fighting at the wall section. And these are banners. And I think these banners give you a strength at the wall section, or an additional strength at the wall section. So phase 4, also 5 cards, drawing 2. And let's just take always the left card here. So I think in this case this is faster, and as I don't have any clue in respect to strategic or tactics, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I think we can deploy some ghosts here. For example, so I think these are some training cards that we can use in phase 4. And yeah, let's take this left one here. So the same for phase 5, also drawing 2, taking the left one here. So I think these are some rituals, I believe, which you can use as your tactics. So we will take the left one here. So, but to be honest, why do we draw 4 cards then? 2 cards if you always select the left one, but nevertheless we will do that. And the 6th phase again already consists of 1 card, so there's no choice here. And I think this is something where you can do a major movement or a minor movement and a major movement, so to advance your troops to the appropriate sections on the field. Each phase card has a backside also, so at the start of your turn, the invader could decide to flip the side to the backside, but keep in mind they are never allowed to be turned back. So once the invader does that, then the front side actions are more or less gone. But sometimes I think in a later phase of the game this might make sense, as this gives you some let's say actions that you normally don't have available with the normal actions or with the front side. So for example, the thing for, or the backside for phase 5 here would tell you, okay, take 3 goblins from the dead goblins pile and place them on any foreground field. Of course, the goblins need to be available, and I think this symbol over here tells you, okay, hey, when you do this, the defender gains an hourglass. Last but not least, there is the camp tile here, and this is something that is important later on when moving your troops or maybe not moving your troops. So each unit that you don't deploy to the battlefield, so that will stay at the camp here, could bring additional hourglasses to the defender. So for example, it does not give the defender any hourglass if the invader only has 0 to 5 units on the camp, but as of 5 to 8 the defender gains then 1 victory points, and so on. You get the picture. I don't know how many troops I will have available later on playing both. Again, please be kind to me. I have never played this game before, so I'm really trying to learn this one. And that's why I will only do a relatively short video this time. I think I'll really only play 1 turn or 1 round, and then give you the possibility to explain me what I have done wrong already. So I think this was more or less the end of the preparation. So we have the cards in play, the hourglasses are in play. I think we can now start with the first round of this game. And I think doing that, we give the defender 2 additional hourglasses. He gets them always before the end of the before the start of the turn, and he also gains 1 stone wall section at the start of each turn. Then let's start phase number 1, and these are the supplies. First of all, the invader gets to draw 14 troops from the back, so let's do that at random, of course. So these are 6. That's already good. 6, 9, and still 5 more. 4 and 5. Additionally, he draws 5 additional resource cubes from the common reserve, but keep in mind the invader only has 14 resources available throughout the game. So if he has already 14, then he's not allowed to get any more. Next, he could assign now troops to gain more wood. So he could, for example, send a goblin to get wood. He could send an orc to send wood, or a troll. When sending a goblin, you gain 1 resource and so on. And for each unit he plays, the defender gains 1 hourglass. And as we do have, let's say, quite a lot of these orcs, I think we will send this orc here to gain some additional 2 resources here. So in this round we have managed to gather already 7 resources, and we already have 5 resources from the setup of the game. But because we have used an orc here, or the invader has used an orc, the defender gains an additional hourglass. And this already ends the turn of the first phase of the invader. So leaving him with 13 remaining troops for this round and 14 resource cubes, which is definitely not too bad. But now it's the turn of the defender, who can use his wall section he gained through the basically start of the turn, and he can now use, or he has to use, all of the hourglasses in this phase because he cannot save them to the next phase. First of all, we will use our wall component to increase the strength here at this wall section, because this wall section only holds 2 soldiers, but of course also a hero. I explain the hero in a bit. So we keep that wall, or reinforce that wall over there. This just gives us +1 strength when it's coming to a battle on the walls. Let's do some movement first. I think first of all we will spend 1 hourglass to move this archer or marksman here to the tower here between these 2 wall sections to the east, because this is relatively not so strong, because it only holds 2 soldiers at this point in time, so we should give this a possibility to defend it better. Then I will spend 2 of these hourglasses to build this goblin trap over there, and we can directly use that to secure this path over here. So now any goblin that would move this direction would die. So definitely good chance to block the path of the invader here. Then I will place 2 of these hourglasses here at the forge to prepare the cannon. So you see we have to use 4 hourglasses, but I think doing a later phase of this round we will gain some more of those. And with the last 2 of those I will start building the poles, and the pole can be built later on a tower field, which could then protect 2 adjacent wall sections. So this concludes already the phase 1 in this game, and now it's again the invader's turn, who would go with phase 2 and could construct machines. So I think next the invader will try to build some war machines, and to be honest I don't know if he can do more than 1 war machine in this phase. I would assume he could do, but I think only 1 of a kind per turn here. So I think he could, for example, go for these 2, of course paying the prices accordingly. If I'm wrong, please let me know. So I think for once we will definitely go for a battering ram, for 1 section of the battering ram here. And with that he has to pay this orc, or he could also pay 2 of these goblins here. That now really makes a big difference, because when using a stronger orc, then he would only need to give 1 hourglass to the defender. If he would use 2 weaker goblins here, then he would need to give 2 hourglasses to the defender. So in this case we are still fine with orcs, so I think we take an orc, but additionally we have to pay 3 resources here. So we put that here, and this will be put back again. So this will be discarded. This guy is no longer available for the action. We give 1 hourglass to the defender, And then we could place the first section of the battering ram. And this would be this tile over here. You see, to each of these sections there are 2 fields, so you have to put soldiers or goblins or orcs beside these 2 sections in order to use this battering ram. But this is something that you do in a later phase of the game. I think this is done in phase 6 in this round. So this was the first war machine he has built. And next he will go for this ballista, I think. So again, he can decide now to go for 1 strong troll. I think we will do that. And he has to pay 6 resources. So this is definitely something very expensive. Additionally, the defender now gains an additional hourglass because we assigned an additional orc to that, unit to that. And this again will be discarded, and then we are allowed to place the ballista on one of these ramparts, and it really doesn't matter on which side of the game board that is. And I think I will rather go for this one, and we will place our ballista over there. Now we are taking 2 of these hit cards, so that shows a hit, and we take 5 miss cards. So this will be the deck for this ballista. We will give them a good shuffle in a second. So we shuffle the deck. So this will be now the hit deck for this ballista, and we would place the appropriate token on top of it to reflect, hey, that's a ballista we have been built here. We still have loads of troops, but we don't have enough resources available to build this altar here, so we need at least 4 of these resources. So we are not allowed to build this altar in this phase, and I just double checked that. Yes, it says you are not allowed to use an action more than once during a turn. So this concludes phase 2 of the invader. Now let's get back to the defender, who has only these 2 hourglasses left, but still we have to use them now or lose them, so there is no way to give them to the next phase. And I think I will build a second trap, so 1 and 2, and this is now a troll trap. Also, I can only build one of these traps in each turn, so, and this has been marked here, so the remaining hourglass will be disappeared. I will block this one here to see, okay, I cannot use that anymore, but still I can place the trap token, and I think I will put that here. So no troll can enter this path here, or can pass this path without dying. And I think also the invader is not allowed to use his special abilities with putting pathways on these pre-existing traps. So I think I will really now place one of these bridges here, because this is pretty important, so that the defender does not block all of those pathways for the invader. So again, we have to place a cube here, and I think I will again go for an orc. I have to place 1, or I have to pay 1 resource, and I think I will place the bridge over here, so that the defender cannot block this or cannot trap this path for me. Again, I have used 1 unit, so the defender gains 1 hourglass for this action, and I think we will go for another action, and I think we will build the banners here. So this again will cost me 1 orc and 1 resource here, and then we could use this banner token, and this banner token just increases the strength at a given wall section. I think I will place the banners here where the defender has also reinforced his wall, so this more or less evens that out. So again, I have used 1 unit, so the defender gains an additional hourglass. Now again, the defender is not allowed to build the shields here because he has no more resources to do so this ends now also phase 3 of this first turn, and now the defender could spend his 2 hourglasses. And I think he will finish his cannon with these 2 hourglasses. So this will be now finalized. So I will place the token here to show that it's completely built and already used in this round. Let's build the cannon on this tower here. And this cannon can now shoot the foreground on this side of the stronghold. And it can also shoot against units that are in this rampart over here. So it says adjacent or opposite. I don't know what this means, if this also means this one or only this one. Right now I would really assume that this cannon can only shoot to this rampart, but please let me know otherwise. Next, the invader comes to the training phase, and with this training card we could go for a saboteur. It's not a ghost, sorry, the ghost comes I think in a later phase when the rituals be done. Then we could go for an artilleryman. I think this is relatively great. I think we will do that. And there is a master archer available, the training token here. And I think for once we will build, or we will train the master artilleryman. Sorry, not the master, it's the artilleryman. So we would have to pay 2 of these orcs, which means the defender gains 2 hourglasses for this. And this artilleryman now allows us to increase the hit rate for any given weapon, siege weapon, and I think we have only one right now, the ballista. So we can put 1 additional hit card into the stack of the ballista here. Give it a shuffle again, of course, and put it back here. So the hit ratio has been increased already. And we will train 1 of these master archers here. So again, the defender gains 1 hourglass. And we put this training token here on this field. I think this is the space for that. So there can be only 2 of these training tiles per rampart. So this now allows each goblin in this rampart to shoot in direction of the tower or the wall section. The invader decides not to go any further in this phase, so again it's the turn of the defender, and he has 3 hourglasses left, and let's see what we can do with them. I think with 2 of these hourglasses we will sabotage a war machine, and of course we take the ballista that he has just reinforced with an additional hit card. So we would now be allowed to take an additional hit card, put that in the stack of this ballista, again give it a good shuffle, and now the odds are basically like at the beginning when the ballista has been built. Excellent. So we still have 1 of these hourglasses left, and I think with this I will prepare the sharpshooter here. We need 2, and when we have 2 of them, then we would be allowed to kill 1 unit. Next there would be the rituals phase, but I think in this first turn I don't use any rituals here. So this means also the defender does not get any hourglasses here. Now we come to the dispatch phase, and he could go for a minor dispatch or a major dispatch. Of course we only have not too many resources available here, so I think we will really go for a minor dispatch here, which means this row here, which also means the defender gains 3 hourglasses. So we could now move up to 15 units to each of the foregrounds, for example, so 5 each, as it says here. Then we could move the same amount to each of the ramparts, so also 5 and 5. And we could also move them to the wall section. Right now there are any let's say units on the field, so I think we will just dispatch these guys to the appropriate foregrounds now. So we will definitely send 2 guys to the battering ram here, because we really want to get inside here. I think we will put 2 of the trolls over here. I don't place any goblins there because there's a goblin track over there. And I think additionally I will place 2 goblins to this foreground over there. Which means we do not have any units left that we have to send to the camp here. So again, the defender does not get any additional hourglasses, but still the defender gains 3 hourglasses because of the minor move, and of course he can instantly use them. In this phase 6 the invader could also go for these order tokens here, and they can place them secretly or open. But right now I don't see, there's no really sense to do this in this very first turn because there are no creatures available at the gates here at this point in time, so we will just skip that here as well. I think we will finish our poles here, so we will put them back here, and we will put the poles on this tower here, so this can now increase the strength to either of these wall section in the assault in the next phase. And with our second hourglass we will activate the sharpshooter here, and with that we kill a troll. These were all the phases, and now the assault starts in this first turn. And also for the assault there are 3 major steps. First of all, we have the ranged weapons who will fire, so for once the cannons here, the ramparts, so the siege weapons, or the marksmen. Then we would have the melee combat, but right now there is no melee combat because no one has progressed here. And the last phase is the battering ram, if it's in play. In our case it is. Let's start with the cannon, and this cannon will shoot at this foreground. This is now very easy, so for each cannon in play we will draw a hit card from the defender stack, and this was definitely a hit, so the defender can now select one color from this foreground field to be removed. In this case this is easy, we will destroy this troll over there. The hit card goes back into the deck and will be reshuffled for maybe the next turn, and now the siege weapons will fire. Right now there's only one siege weapon, this is the ballista here, and this is also pretty easy, so the invader now chooses a wall section which can be reached through the paths here, so this could be this or that, and he will then shoot at the wall section, and in a case of a hit he can remove 1 soldier there. And I think we will go just for this wall section here, so let's just draw the top hit card, and yes, this is a hit, so the invader can now kill 1 of these soldiers or troops here, and of course he will go for a soldier. This soldier is placed to the hospital, which is here, so right now that's not really a problem because this soldier will be back in the next turn. So the hit card is shuffled back into the deck, and the good thing for the invader at least is that miscards will be discarded from the game, so just simulating the fact that these guys are getting better and better when shooting at the wall. But this time this was not necessary because we hit. Theoretically now the marksman would shoot or the goblins could shoot, but right now there is no one in range, so we can skip this phase. There is also no melee combat, so we can skip this phase as well. So we can use the battering ram now, and right now we only have 1 section. Good thing is we have equipped both of them directly, and I think I made really a mistake here. I should have shot, no, there was no cannon ready. I could not shoot to this battering ram, only from sections here. But yeah, I could have shot this marksman. Oh damn. Yeah, I think I missed that because I think this marksman can shoot here to this battering ram. Okay, I forgot that. Pity. So now the battering ram does this damage here, so we will decrease the damage value here to 7. And once this goes to 0, the first gate is broken. And this ends the first round of Stronghold. So first of all, we can remove all temporary markers and also all hourglasses that are, let's say, show that these actions have been used. So like here and here, any let's say actions still in preparation would remain on the board. So that's definitely important to mention here. Additionally, the invader gives one token, glory token, to the defender, showing just more or less the round check here. So the defender has now 2 or 5 victory points in total, and the invader already lost 1. We coming to round 2 here, which we will also mark here on the Guard of Honor. And I think that's more or less it. We come now to the, let's say, more or less last step, and this would be to prepare the next turn. So for once, the defender gains a wall section and also 2 hourglasses, which he can use after the first phase. And the invader takes again the phase 1 card in order to show what is going on. So for once, he gains 5 additional wooden cubes, so resources, and again he would be allowed to draw 14 new troops. So these are 6, 10, 4 more, yep. And again he could choose to use this action down here, and I think this time really he will go for a troll. For once, this gives the defender again 1 additional hourglass, but also the invader gains 3 additional resources, which he could definitely use in the next 2 phases, I think. I believe I end it here. I hope I haven't made too many mistakes. If yes, please let me know. Still, I was struggling a little bit with the move out action, but I think in the meantime I got it, at least I hope, after going through some forum entries, and really thank you very much, community, for sharing your information. Yeah, and I hope I will see you again in the next episode of my playthrough of Stronghold. Yeah, until then, bye.